best. Pop, 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 I be on the next only, yeah. I am fresh to death, just call the coroner.
What's up, guys? It's been a minute. I haven't done any videos. I haven't done a YouTube video since way before the show. If you've been following me on Instagram, you've seen kind of the things that I've been doing, but we're gonna get you guys back in the loop today. I got my homie Neto with me today. Another a good friend of mine, another awesome coach. So today we're gonna be going through a pull session and just going over some coaching stuff. So he and I are gonna bounce some stuff around, so hopefully you guys learn some cool stuff. Mr. Neto here, his first language is Portuguese.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to kind of go back and forth a little bit here, but he has absolutely been crushing it with Brazilian athletes, and he worked with James. You guys have seen him on my page many times, and absolutely changed him in like a super short period of time. What was it, 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
He dropped like 15 pounds and he did. Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was awesome.
So he crushed James' show. They look absolutely awesome. So we're just gonna have a good session today, bounce some ideas off each other, and just have a good time. So we're gonna start here on the hammer strength lat pull down, get this back rolling. I've been doing both hands. Do whatever you want to, as far as like, if you want to do single arm, you can do single arm.
No, let's do both hands. Yeah.
I just feel like I've been able to get a really good connection to it. Sometimes when I go single arm, I get too much like, I have to try to brace too hard.
Yeah, I think you have to brace too much.
Yeah, and then with the hernia stuff, it's been harder to do some single arm stuff. So this has been really, really solid. So Neto and I look at things pretty similarly. So a lot of stuff we will probably agree on, but it'll be really interesting to see just a different perspective. We've never actually trained together, so we talk all the time, but we've never gotten a lift in, so it'll be a lot of fun to see a little bit different perspective, but from someone who trains the way I do. So the only thing that I've noticed with those is they'll slip off the handle really easy. So Neto wants to use the handles here to go over top of this, so that he has a little bit more independent movement of his hand.
Yeah, because I feel my wrist a little.
Wrist buggy? I was gonna ask, was it wrist or elbow?
Yeah, it's wrist.
Yeah, okay. So sometimes like if you get on a machine and it's fixed and it doesn't feel well in your hand, you're gonna have issues with wrist, elbow, shoulder. So if you are one of those people, you get on a machine, it's like, it doesn't feel great, this might be a great option for you. The Neto will show you here in a second. Where I put my hands on this, it fits perfectly with like my shoulder width. I don't have any issues with elbow or shoulder or anything, so I've just been rolling with this. I did 1 1/4 last time.
1 1/4?
2 1/4, 2 1/4, sorry. So now these handles just allows him to kind of move his hand, move his elbow, get a better position. So now he doesn't feel pain. So play around with machines, find out what works best for you. I haven't really told you guys much about plans post-show. Show went great. I am super happy with how the look went, but the thing that we already knew is that I needed size. Size takes time, so shutting it down for the year, no more competitions, and it's time to get nice and meaty. But right now, my focus is on my son and my coaching. So bodybuilding is my baseline. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know how to not eat 5 meals a day. I don't know how to miss training sessions. So the bodybuilding is still gonna happen. I am still going to make progress, but it is not my sole focus right now. So working on my coaching, working on being a better dad, being there for my son after being selfish for a long time is really where I'm at right now. But still gonna be in here killing this thing because I'm too stupid to do anything else. So last warm up here, I'm touching the weight that I'm gonna use so that my muscle is ready to use it. Because if I hit this weight and then add a little bit of weight, it might feel too heavy, maybe I don't hit it as well. I touch this now, body's ready for it. Next set, when I'm ready to go, it's gonna be ready to smash that shit. Something that I always try to cue people on with this is when we get set, I don't wanna be completely vertical and I don't wanna be arced up like this. I wanna lean back because that now matches my ability to get overhead and matches my lat. If I do this, more than likely at the bottom, I'm gonna end up pulling into my shoulder blades. So I'm trying to hit lats. I'm not trying to hit traps here. So I want a neutral spine and I'm trying to push elbows that way. At the bottom, it is going to come this way and pull back but my intent is still driving elbow forward. It's super easy to put a lot of weight on these things and then turn a pull down into a row by leaning too far back, pulling into traps. And again, I've said it a million times, that's why nobody has lats. And you'll see at the top, Neto did a great job of it. When he gets in the stretch, he's stretching from here. He's not stretching from raising this, right? He's stretching from reaching from his lats, and the shoulder stays down.
So you stretch like the elbows. The elbows goes up, not the shoulders.
Right, because if he starts doing this and starts shrugging, now he has to pull it back down, re-engage, drive into lat. So instead, think of reaching from that while keeping shoulder away from ear.
Yeah.
Yep. Now make sure you rest between sets. If we rush that, that second set wouldn't have been as efficient. So don't be in a rush. And if we were to do this single arm, rest between sides. Single arm stuff, single leg stuff, unilateral anything, rest between sides. Or else that second side will not get as much as it should. Yep, come on. Yeah, good shit. 2 solid sets there. We're gonna try dumbbell rows. I've been doing them, but they bug his back a little, so we'll see if we can fix that. If not, we're gonna try something else today. The one thing that a lot of people don't consider going into or coming out of a show is as we lose body fat, our waist gets smaller. So with that in mind, it can be harder to brace your spine because there's not as much keeping everything together, right? So with me already having a compromised core from surgery, my focus coming out of show is get my core stability back so that I can do big patterns again without pain. Dumbbell row is a great way to train anti-rotation because I have to stop myself from rotating under load with a dumbbell. There's 2 ways to stance, or there's a few ways to stance this, but the 2 ways that I use is here. This is my working hand. I put the dumbbell in this hand. This foot is back. In this position, there's gonna be a lot of core bracing. I have to stop myself from rotating because my foot is not there to keep me stable. Or I can do this. So now I'm super locked in here. This goes nowhere. I don't have to worry about bracing my core. My hip is already doing it. So all I have to do is drive into lat. So this is gonna be a lot more straight back. This is gonna be a little back, plus also some core stability. So with that in mind, that's how I'm doing it. With my goal being to bring my core stability back up and get a bigger back. 2 birds, 1 stone. But Neto's having some issues with a little bit of rotation stuff, maybe a little bit of pain, so maybe this foot forward is better for him.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. It's a matter of context and who you're looking at, the individual, right? Avoid that back pain.
Feels good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I want you to try and think about keeping this down and swing back into lat. Yeah. Feel a little bit of a difference there?
Yeah.
Come on, fucker. On 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Yep.
Tickles.
Yep.
Back. 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 Back.
Push those feet in the floor hard. Come on.
Back.
Yep.
Save me your fingers.
Yep.
Back.
Use your feet. Come on. Yep.
Back.
Press. Press.
Back. Okay. Yep.
Good shit. 6. Yeah. Yeah. Did you hear what I was saying about your feet?
Yeah, they move around a lot.
Well, trying, like instead of being on your toes.
I feel like I'm always
Set
better on
that
my
base.
toes than you, I don't know why.
Where you can put, I mean, if it feels okay, that's fine. But like, press them bitches in the floor. Because everything starts from the floor. Everything, right? Because as soon as they start coming up, then your hips go, and then everything else starts to go. It might help out a little bit. That shit look good though. Yes, sir. No other gym, well, for the most part, no other gym in this area can I just be in the middle of a training session and have a Mr. Olympia ask me to spot him.
Yeah.
And I know Neto will agree. The more people you're around that are successful in this, the better you get.
Yeah.
Whether it's better as an athlete, better as a coach, better as a person, surround yourself with people who are better than you.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with the people who you want to emulate. Yeah. And Sean is one of those guys who his work ethic is unmatched. His drive is unmatched. I'm not saying I'm going to be the next Mr. Olympia because I hang out with Sean Clarita, but there are context clues that success leaves. So getting to be around those people, even for just a few minutes, is one of the most fucking cool things you could ever experience.
If it's not your idol, can be your friend.
100%.
Yeah.
Stretch from here. Stretch it. Yeah. Good, yeah. What I'm telling him is to reach from his lat. So don't just let the shoulder drop. Let the lat do the stretch. All the way, come on, drive. Like you'll notice that with the higher level athlete you go up, you'll see that like, even when it starts to get hard, every rep looks the same. The pace is the same, contraction the same, where their elbow is going is the same. Whatever it is that we're looking at, it stays the same. That's how we milk this stuff for everything we can get out of it.
Yeah. The speed gets like slower, but you're not intentional. It's just getting slower because you're like almost failure.
But you notice that your pace didn't go down until that very last rep.
Yeah.
That last rep is like, oh, it's getting slower.
Yeah.
With higher level athletes, you've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for a long time. People will use rep speed to go, oh, I'm getting close to failure.
Yeah.
It's like you can do that with new people. You can't always do that. Go watch Nick Walker train and try to figure out where he's gonna fucking fail. Like, you can't, because it looks the same the whole time, even as hard as it might be.
You can't tell what rep he'll fail.
Right.
Just here is the arc back, like it's like curve.
I pull that dumbbell off, and the first thing I do is find my obliques.
Yeah.
Find that brace,
And
then I find my lat.
Yeah.
And then, like he said,
We can see by the side.
yep.
When he contracts the
Obliques, yep.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between like that type of rounding with the core brace.
And this.
Yeah. And like the dog shitting in the backyard deadlifts of like, brr, like your spine needs to be able to flex.
Yeah.
Needs to be able to extend, but in the right context.
Yeah.
Down. He's not reaching from his shoulder. He's not trying to get his shoulder to the floor or open up his shoulder blade. He is reaching from here. This is what we're trying to stretch. When he drives up, his trap's gonna work because guess what? Your back is a unit. It all moves together. But when we're trying to focus on that lat, that's where we wanna reach and drive from. Yeah, Neto, good shit.
Pump time.
Well, I still look okay. I'm gonna go 8 times. Once I'm fat and puffy, then
Wait for 2
we'll start
months.
just keeping the oversized.
Yeah. Enjoy this time.
No, we touched on it there for a split second about the rebound phase. And while the rebound phase is great, like, love the way I look right now. Pumps are awesome. Strength is great. Head is in a great spot. It's a cool time. You look freaky. You're full. You're pumped. Still lean. But your body does not have a system in it that goes, hey, this guy just did a bodybuilding show, so this is all okay. So now that he's eating, let's just give him a bunch of muscle. That's not how our bodies work. Our bodies are survival machines. It wants you to live. Low body fat is not a great place for survival, because if all of a sudden the food all disappears, I'm gonna die because I don't have any body fat. So my body is trying to get me back to a place where if famine comes again, I can live off of my body fat stores. That is what body fat is for. It doesn't go, oh, this guy got on stage, he wants to put on a lot of muscle. So if you start feeding yourself, even if you eat only clean food, but way too much of it, your body's gonna go, fuck yeah, fat, 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 fat.
Yeah.
Once it fills up its glycogen stores, that spillover will 100% turn into body fat. So yes, I look bigger right now because my muscles are filled to the brim. But any more than this, and I'm gonna start getting watery first, I'm gonna start looking like a water buffalo, and then the weeks start piling on each other, and the next thing you know, it doesn't look like I dieted at all.
Yeah.
So it's fine to push some food, but be careful post-show, because you can put yourself in a bad way to where the next time you try to prep, it is that much harder to get that same body fat off.
Because you're so like sensitive to carbs that you don't have to eat too much to grow. So just like
Right.
eat smart, keep like raising the food just week by week,
Right.
like 10% of the calories just go up in carbs, and the next week do the same thing.
Right.
You're growing.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. You got to give yourself a time to like let your body relax after
Yeah.
the show, right?
And
It's not immediately jump into off-season time.
yeah, do the blood
Give
work
yourself
first.
time.
Yeah, do the blood work.
Yes.
Check for if you're healthy, and go straight to the off season.
Yep.
You
Yep.
gotta be healthy first.
Yep. I've said it a bunch of times. Bodybuilding is all about being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? We got to get uncomfortable in prep to get lean. We got to get uncomfortable in off season to put on size. In order for us to do this for a long period of time without damaging our health and longevity, you got to be uncomfortable in a maintenance phase as well, which means going a long period of time without being as strong, without being as big, without like feeling super amazing. You're at some point in your maintenance, you're probably not going to feel like you're not going to feel like the Hulk, but you need to understand that is the time you lean into it. Be fine, just kind of hanging out for a bit.
Yeah.
You will thank me when you're 80.
Something we can notice, like in your farm, you just explode at the bottom. Like
You what?
You explode at the bottom.
Yes.
Like you break the momentum, then you just explode. That's why you keep the reps like the same.
Right.
You're not like just feeling the way
So-
you're exploding, but
Explode with a slow and with a
yeah, with
not
intent.
even necessarily slow, but a what am I looking for? A strong contraction from the muscle.
Yeah,
Not jerking.
yeah.
Right?
Not
The
like
thing-
bouncing the way.
The thing I always see with any movement pattern,
Yeah.
especially when you start getting heavy, here they
Yeah.
get to the bottom,
Yeah.
yank it. And what yanking does, I start pulling from my bicep,
Yeah,
start pulling from my shoulder,
yeah.
pull from everything but the intended muscle.
Uh-huh.
So it's a strong squeeze from the intended target.
Yeah, that's why like another tip here is not like to push here because you're getting like elbow flexion. Just push through your hips
Yeah.
to not get that much elbow flexion.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, good shit. Everyone says the eccentric is where we build the most muscle, but if you're just letting it drop,
Yeah,
you're not getting anything out of it.
that's not.
We need to control it this way. We also need to keep that tension that way.
Yeah, no, that's
He's also keeping tension the whole time. So it's not just trying to contract on the way up. He's keeping that tension as he lets it out and stretching from that muscle. Today is mostly lat focused. We're gonna go do upper back, give the lats a little breather. Go do prime row.
cool.
Yep, I got you. Come on. All the way. Yep. Good shit.
Too heavy.
Huh?
Too heavy.
A little too heavy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going into set 2 with more stimulus because I use more weight. So now that second set, even though the weight's the same, I'm a little bit more fatigued going into it. So I don't necessarily have to go up in weight on every single set that I do. So it's not always, progressive overload isn't always about more weight always, right? So I got more stimulus on the first set because of more load. Now this, just because it's the same weight on paper, this is still going to be a different stimulus than last time. But as I explained to Neto in the beginning, so I had 2 plates here and here, and then 10s. So we took the tins off, and we moved a plate up top. The weight, minus 20 pounds, is basically the same as what I did on set 1. But because I moved weight up here, it starts heavy and gets lighter here. Yep. Opening and closing here. Yep. That's the goal. Come on. Come on. Yep. Go. Yep. I got you. Smooth. Good. Yeah. We've done a pull down and a row for lats. Then we did an upper back movement that was heavy. So at this point, we're pretty taxed. We can use cables to change where the load is placed. Just like we do with the prime of moving weights around, we can position ourselves different with the cable to make it hit in a different range, right? So what Neto and I are doing is starting close. So you can see this position here is almost a 90-degree angle. That 90-degree angle is where the most tension will be, versus if I come all the way back here and my arm is in line with that cable, and then I pull here, see there's a 90-degree angle here. So it's gonna feel lighter here and get heavier down there. Because we've already done that, we've already taxed our lat, getting back here is gonna be harder. So we're gonna stay closer, have that 90-degree angle at the beginning so that we are stretching with the heaviest amount of weight and then squeezing through. You see, again, just like we've talked about the rest of this session, this stays away from his ear. He's reaching and stretching from the lat, not from shoulder, raising up to ear. So that stays down, drives in the lat. Stays down, stretch, drives in the lat.
It's always important to break the momentum here too. Yeah, don't like keep like bouncing the way all the time. Just like stop here, just half a second, squeeze, stop half a second, stretch again.
There should always be control in the in ranges.
Yeah.
I think rear delt is one of those things that most people don't hit enough when trying to get a big shoulder. Everybody thinks big shoulders, they think pressing, and they think laterals.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you agree, they miss that rear delt, right? Because if I turn to the side, and that rear delt isn't built and sweeping under the rest of that delt, it's not gonna sit out the same. So, like, in a lot of poses, and even in your front shots, your rear delts are important to make that look, right? Like, when I hit my side chest, like that delt sits out, it pushes back, so it looks bigger, right? It's not just about getting the shoulders to be big here, it's about getting them to be big all the way around. So you get that pumpkin look, you know? A big boulder. Push forward and open, and then they stay open. And that's as far as I go, right? I don't need all that. I don't need my traps to come together. So I'm gonna push forward, drive wide. Push forward and open up a little bit. Yep. Just scoot your hips back, lean forward into it, and have the arms slightly above your shoulder height, right? So it's gonna be here. So if you set it up on a cable, you set it up on a machine, whatever, you kind of want a slight elevation, pulling back and down.
Come on, Nick, finish it. Yo.
Okay.
You gotta be careful with your left side.
Is it? Oh, okay.
A little.
My left, not my right?
Yeah.
Really?
That's weird.
My right's always the one that wants
to.
You
think too much about the right.
See, that's why it's always fun to work out with people who know what they're doing. Because, like, obviously, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. I do this on a regular basis. But there's things I'm gonna miss about myself. So I always enjoy getting different perspectives, getting different eyes on and seeing what somebody has, right? Like me and Neto can have a difference of opinion, but maybe his opinion gives me a clue that I could use to make something better for myself or a client. So it's like, we may do the same job and be competitors as far as coaches, but there's no reason that we can't learn from each other. This has been one of my favorite bicep movements lately, just because you can get a crazy nasty squeeze at the top. Feel your rear delt? Yeah. Get this away from your ear. Relax down, more. There, try. Good, keep it down. Yeah. Good, away from the ear. Good, yeah. Yeah, right here, come on. Yeah, come on. Come on, Sean. Come on. Okay. Yep. That's so funny because we were literally just going over that. So like we talked about, you can learn from everyone. So like that's fucking Mr. Olympia, and he's asking me a question to come over and go, hey, check this for me right quick, right? Like no one's above learning from anyone, right? So like little shit like that goes such a long way, especially when we're looking at the elites. When we're looking at people like Sean, who like the smallest percentages can go the longest fucking way. It's that kind of shit that can make all the difference in the world. When it comes to arm training, we'll see what Neto says here in a second. I don't really go below like 12. I think arms need volume, because you think I'm doing stuff with them all day. Doing stuff with my arms, I'm reaching for things and picking things up. They are used to just doing low weight and a lot of stuff. So if we add some weight and we do a lot of stuff, they tend to grow pretty well. Because I've noticed, like I said, I've done really heavy stuff with biceps, and triceps, and like just never pans out. I just get tendonitis.
Yeah.
So if I stick in that like 12 to 15 range, let the heavy stimulus be like my rows and my presses, and then do this and squeeze, connect, pump a lot of blood.
Come on. Yep. Perfect. Yep. Right there. Finish it. Good.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect cue.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You were cheating, yeah.
He just wants to do this.
Yeah.
A cue that I always like with curls is that I'm trying to push my hand away.
Yeah.
So I'm like arcing with it. I'm not just ripping my hand to my face. I'm not just getting it up here.
Yeah.
If I'm arcing through that thing, pushing my hand away from my elbow, I get such a better squeeze. Probably won't be able to use as much weight when you do that, but like we've talked about, it's not about weight here. A hammer curl, we're gonna be in this position. We were just here. When we go here, there's a muscle that runs through your forearm and under your bicep. That freaky thing that you see on Phil Heath's arm, where it comes kind of underneath. It's like he's got a third alien bicep under there.
Yeah.
That's the muscle we're looking for. That muscle is gonna push your bicep out more. So if you're looking to build big arms, using some kind of hammer variation is a great option. So we're gonna use this preacher curl bench and brace our elbow into it so that all we have to do is output. All we have to do is push. So I feel warm, I'm just gonna hop right into it. I turn my torso so that I can brace my arm. Like if I'm here, like this just feels really weird. My shoulder feels in an awkward position. So I turn towards it a little bit so that my arm's nice and comfortable. My elbow is gonna stay pushed into the pad. Same cue, pushing my hand in an arc away from my elbow. Yep. Yep, keep that elbow back.
Come on. Finish it. Finish it. Great set.
Yep. Good shit. All right, guys, so y'all saw my back workouts for prep. We're now moving slowly into an off season once we get through this health phase. So all the movement patterns you've seen today is what I'm gonna be sticking with for the foreseeable future. Some of that may change kind of as we go along and depending on how my body responds. This is what I'm gonna stick to for a bit. So hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you picked up some good tips. My man Neto here had some great points today, so really helped me out. Got me a few pointers that I'm gonna be able to use going forward. It was a fucking great workout. I appreciate the push today. How did you like it?
I love it. Yeah, it was
cool.
Great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great conversation, great workout.
Yeah, 100%. So I think we both learned a little bit today, had a good time, had a good session, nice pump. So like, subscribe, share with your friends. Make sure to check back in soon. We'll see you again next time.